The giant confronted the children of Israel. His name, Goliath. His soul was lifted up. He bragged. He boasted. He said, give me a man there that will fight against me. If I conquer him, then you become our enemies. Physical giant. It wasn't a spiritual giant. It wasn't a mental giant. It wasn't really a ministerial giant. It was just physical. His height, his body built up, and the way he stood, and the way he carried a spear, he thought it was a real giant. But it was fake. How do you recognize a false giant? A fake giant, a superficial giant, the one that is a giant only on the outside, but on the inside is not a giant. I'm using the word giant, G-I-A-N-T, G, great stature without great salvation. Might have a great stature, and he thinks because of the great stature, he's a giant. He says, I have what it takes to be a giant. Why? Because I have a great stature. How about great salvation? Goliath, how will you escape the stone coming from little David, striking your head and taking your life off? How will you escape sudden defeat when the strength is needed? Then you collapse. How will you escape if you neglect so great salvation? I want to tell you, a great stature without so great salvation is no real giant. Irreverent speech without innocent soul. Goliath boasted, and the way he even talked about the God of heaven, the God of all power, and the God of creation. He was irreverent. Show me a man who thinks he's a giant, and he can talk against heaven, and talk against earth, talk against God, and talk against leaders on earth, talk against everything with reverence and respect. Abandon him. And if that is who you are, abandon that concept about yourself. Aggressive saboteur without agreeable sense. Aggressive saboteur. All he wanted to do is to destroy. Goliath, tell me what you can build. Tell me what you can raise up. Tell me what you can develop. Tell me something positive you can do. No. He didn't have the sense to build up anything. He didn't have the sense to raise up anything. He didn't have the sense to encourage anyone. He just came and he said, I am an aggressive saboteur. I can destroy, I can kill, I can scatter. Forsake such an individual that cannot build anything good, anything positive, anything practical. And he was a naughty, stubborn person. Naughty stubbornness without noble softness. There was no softness in his speech. There's no softness, no tenderness in his lifestyle. Everything was rash. Everything was pompous. Everything was intimidating because he had a naughty stubbornness without noble softness. How are you? And who are you? How do you live? How do you talk? What's the essence of your life? And what is the outcome of your life? Are you naughty, stubborn, incorrigible? That's what Goliath was. And yet he thought, she there, tough talking, A talking sinner without tender spirit. A talking sinner. He was tall, only a sinner. He could talk, only a sinner. And he could terrify other people, but only a sinner. And as we look at his speech, and as we hear him talk, as he comes out, and then even Saul will tremble, and even the army of Israel, everyone trembled. Why did they tremble? They had never seen him achieve anything by the talk of his mouth, because he was a tough talker, a terrifying talker, and he didn't have a tender spirit. That's why we abandon that kind of giant profession, because that's not the real giant you want to be. We have identified the false and fake giant, and we say bye-bye. Bye-bye to the fake, false giant. Renounce, reject, and push away from you, from your mind, and abandon the false giant. Father, every individual, every man, every woman, every boy, every girl, Lord, I pray you will do something definite in every life in Jesus' name. Wake everyone up. Make a giant out of everyone. Confirm your word in every life. In Jesus' name I pray.